It all started with me waking up before my alarm went off. I didn't need to hurry too much, but I needed to get ready for my hair and makeup appointment. I still was not sure about the hair though. Up or down? My mom and I had been to the beauty salon trying to figure out the best hairdo to go with my hat. Dad stayed home to let the caterer set up the massive spread that they had prepared, and the cake lady was making her delivery around the same time. The florist had delivered the flowers the night before and had done a fabulous job on every piece. They were simple but elegant. Everything was coming together just as I had planned. By 5 p.m., it was time for the big event. My mom and sister helped me get my wedding gown on, and I had never felt or been more beautiful. The church was filled with even more people than I had expected. I met my future husband at the front of the church. We said our dues and exchanged our vows. Then came the famous last words from our pastor. I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss your bride. I planted the biggest kiss on him. That day turned out to be perfect. Who would have ever guessed after such a wonderful day that 9 years later I'd be divorced like so many others? Today, research suggests that 40 to 50% of first marriages and 60% of second marriages end in divorce as a result of 3 common factors: abuse, infidelity, and marrying too young. The first point to ponder is the multiple types of abuse in marriages that can lead to divorce, as stated by Hawkins, Fackrell, and Harris, 2013. Abuse in marriage can vary from physical to emotional, from sexual to financial and social. Physical abuse includes hitting, kicking, pushing or pulling, or even drawing a weapon on the partner. Emotional or verbal abuse involves name-calling, embarrassing the spouse in public, and putting them down for no reason. Sexual abuse is where the partner demands unwanted sexual activity, rape, and sexual insults. Financial abuse means maxing out credit cards, giving an allowance, and money being stolen from a banking account. And last but not least is social isolation. This includes keeping the spouse from seeing family and friends and monitoring their whereabouts. These examples are just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the raging problem of abuse in marriage. Abused partners are usually better to divorce than remain in an unsafe environment. Beyond that is infidelity. Infidelity plays a big role in the destruction of marriages. As with abuse, infidelity has multiple types according to a 2015 article by Munch. They include object, sexual, emotional, and secondary. An object affair deals with the relationships being neglected because one of the spouses is focusing on something other than that spouse. A sexual affair is exactly what it says: cheap sex with no strings attached. An emotional affair means no touching, but lots of looking, talking, and turning to someone else. A secondary relationship is the traditional affair that everybody thinks of that involves sex and emotions. Infidelity is difficult to deal with in a marriage. It can tear a marriage apart. Questions begin to arise. Can I trust again? Can it be salvaged? What went wrong? Hawkins, Fackrell, and Harris, 2013, who wrote the book Should I Try to Work It Out?, suggests a 3-stage recovery process which includes 1. Absorbing and dealing with the impact of infidelity. 2. Finding meaning in why it occurred. And 3. Moving forward on a daily basis, together or apart. Furthermore, marrying too young poses an issue for young couples to make a life together successful. Author Nicholas Wolfinger, 2015, writes, when marrying too young, there is a decreased maturity level in the husband and wife. These youthful partners have less financial support and fewer resources socially to turn to for help. The lack of emotional experience and hasty unions can cause young persons to marry too soon, which in turn create problems as they mature and grow in everyday life. Dr. James Dobson states in 7 Keys to Lifelong Love, making it as a family requires some characteristics that come with maturity, such as selflessness, stability, and self-control. It's best to wait for their arrival. The National Survey of Family Growth, put out by the Institute for Family Studies, showed from 2006 to 2010 that within 5 years of a first marriage, the divorce rate increases greatly. As shown in the graph, couples less than 20 years of age divorce at a rate of 32%, and ages 20 to 24 at a rate of 20%, which is also an increase from the 1995 survey, also shown in the graph in the same age groups. In conclusion, research suggests that 40 to 50% of first marriages and 60% of second marriages end in divorce as a result of three common factors of abuse, infidelity, and marrying too young. With the different types of abuse that can occur in a marriage, it is no wonder that divorce is so prevalent. When infidelity comes into play in a relationship, again, divorce seems to be the best option for most couples. And then the third point made, marrying too young becomes an issue of maturity level and resources that are not available, making it difficult to survive a marriage. I can vouch for all three of these and how it can destroy marriage. My first marriage had all three factors intertwined in it. I was 20 years old when I got married. We both had jobs, but low-paying ones in which we struggled with our bills. I experienced financial and social abuse at the hands of my husband and was a victim of an emotional affair where he had what I would call an affair of the mind. Dr. Scott Stanley, a marriage researcher and therapist from the University of Denver, defines commitment as having a long-term view of marriage that helps us not get overwhelmed by the problems and challenges day to day. We keep our eyes focused on the value prized, a healthy, stable marriage, and work to get there. As I was researching this topic of divorce, I came across a poster that read, "We fall in love by chance, we stay in love by choice. Sometimes the choice is not love, and in my case, that was the best decision I could have ever made."